This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, February the 20th, is was a star player in the NHL, and actually is a broadcaster for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But he played 18 seasons in the NHL with Chicago, Boston, and New York. All original 6 teams. Amazing. Winning a couple Stanley Cups with Boston. He was the goal scorer who had basically a lot of records that were broken by Wayne Gretzky, but still, he put up some fantastic numbers. And in fact, he and his younger brother Tony actually co founded the Tampa Bay Lightning. So it was huge how he has done and all that, helping with Tampa and all that. His name is Phil Esposito, who's now 82 years old. Phil was born in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and signed with the Chicago Blackhawks as a teenager. Now, this was before the draft came in existence, so people can sign with the club. So anyway, he was pretty good in Junior B, and then went up to the minor leagues with Chicago. And then midway through the 1964 season, Chicago decided to bring him up. And he was a good center. He was a playmaker and is a pretty good league scorer and all that. Unfortunately, though, he rubbed people the wrong way in Chicago and was basically sent to Boston in a trade. The trade was massive as Esposito, Ken Hodge Sr., and Fred Stanfield went from Chicago to Boston for the one of one Jack Norris as a goalie. But it didn't work out that way, as Chicago would rue that trade. Espo would blossom into the greatest scorer of his day. In his second season after being traded to Boston, he was the first AHLer to score 100 points in a season. He broke that and then some with 126 points. He would almost tie that mark in 1970, but didn't. But then reached triple digits for the next 5 years. So for 7 years, he was a 100-point scorer in a row. He was the Art Ross Trophy winner for top regular season scorer in 1969, and then he had the run of 4 straight, 71, 72, 73, and 74, being Art Ross champion. He ended up winning the Hart Trophy for MVP in 69 and 74, so 2 of those trophies, yeah, Chicago really must have been hurting with that trade. Anyway, his Boston fans would have bumper stickers that said, "Jesus saves, but Espo scores on the rebound." Espo was known for his unmovable presence in front of the opposition net. He wasn't a good skater, but he could be all that. Espo practically would stand in front of the net and get the puck and score. Espo would center one of the best renowned forward lines with Hodge on the right wing and Wayne Cashman on his left. Espo would share a lot of things with Bobby Orr and all that. Espo would put up 76 goals in 1971, which was the goal scoring record until Gretzky broke it. Yeah, Espo had a lot of records and all that, but Gretzky shattered them. All that. Espo still has the NHL record for shots on net in a single year with 550. No one else has come very close. He ranks second in regular season goals for a Bruin with 459, behind only Johnny the Chief Busick and has 545. And in playoff goals, he's behind Cam Neely and Patrice Bergeron. But far from being a Bruin, his most memorable moment was being part of the Canadian team at the Summit Series in 1972, and when Canada was down and out by game 4 of that series. He went on national TV and made a speech. Same quote. We gave it and we were doing our best. All of us guys are really disheartened. We came out here because we love Canada. They're a good hockey team and we don't know what we could do better, but I promise we will figure it out. But it's totally ridiculous. I don't think it's fair that we should be booed. We're trying. Hell, we're really trying. And to boo, that's disheartening. And that actually worked out perfectly as Espo and the Canadians would win 3 out of the last 4 games in the Summit Series in Russia and win the whole thing. He played for Canada at the inaugural Canada Cup in 1976 on a line with Bobby Hull and Marcel Dion. And then he went to the 1977 World Championships in Vienna. Regardless of that, he was in one of the most massive trades made in New York Rangers history, as Boston would trade Esposito and Carol Fadney to the Rangers for Brad Park, Joe Sanusi, and Sean Rattel. Espo was allegedly traded because he did not want to relinquish his playing time. His trade was monumental. Espo was still a good scorer. Rattel was a good center, and Park was one of the best defensemen in the NHL. So to say the Rangers made a good move is an understatement. I mean, Park played well in Boston and in Detroit. Sean Rattel was great with Boston. Joe Sanusi was nothing, but regardless, Espo was decent with the Rangers and all that. Fadney, not so much. Espo was given the captaincy of the Rangers upon his arrival with the Rangers. And when he could play a full season, he led the team in points, so he looked good. And at 37 years old, he helped the Rangers get to the 1979 Stanley Cup Finals, which was monumental. Sure, they lost to the Rangers in 5. I mean, the Habs in 5. What am I thinking? But yeah, he was third in postseason scoring, and he was pretty good. All that. When he retired in 1981, he was only behind Gordie Howe in goals and points. So he had a great career. He would do a few front office things, but then he went to become head coach GM of the Rangers from 86 to 89. He was known as Trader Phil because he would make lots of normalcy traits. In fact, when he was GM, he made so many trades. He made more trades than Vancouver did in the whole decade of the 80s. He would make a couple of awkward deals. One was trading for Marcel Dion from the Kings, which is a sacrilege because Marcel Dion was the LA Kings, in a sense. And also trading away a first-round pick to Quebec for the rights to coach Michel Bergeron, so that Bergeron could be the Rangers' new head coach. Didn't work out so well. He was a kid, and Phil was buoyed to actually bring a hockey team to Tampa. So he and brother Tony wanted the team in Florida and all of that. Anyway, his reputation and personality helped the Espo brothers become the heads of the Tampa bid and got Tampa their expansion franchise that would start in 92-93, and Phil would be the president and GM. Espo would hire many former teammates of the Bruins and all that, and signed Manon Renault to sign and play for the original team, although it was in preseason. Espo had a problem because the main backers backed out a few months before. And remember, it was $50 million for a franchise. A Japanese consortium headed by Kokusai Green stepped in. And it was huge and all that. Despite all that, with Kokusai Green, the team was financed entirely by loans, and the Lightning were consistently short of cash. So anyway, Tampa would fall flat. Well, they had expansion wolves, but they were not really that big and all that. The Lightning just couldn't do anything. Fortunately, though, Art Williams, insurance tycoon, bought the Lightning and saved them from financial ruin. However, after taking control, Espo would be fired from his position. But he found work as the radio color commentator for the 1999-2000 season. He still calls home games as a radio color commentator alongside Dave Mishkin, who's the play-by-play guy. And yes, Espo actually was a color commentator beforehand. After retiring from the Rangers, he joined MSG Network for the 82 season to be a TV commentator replacing Bill Chadwick. A little bit of a awkward move because Chadwick was popular. But anyway, he would be the color commentator alongside Jim Gordon and then Sam Rosen when he came in. So anyway, Espo's been in the Hall of Fame since 1984, and on December 3rd, 1987, his number 7 was retired by the Bruins. Now, there was an issue. Ray Bourque wore number 7 at that time, and it was understood that once Bourque retired or left the Bruins, Espo 7 would be fully there. However, Ray Bourque decided to do something special, and no one knew. He decided to change his number from 7 to 77, surrendering his old number in Espo's favor and all that. It was just shocked and all that, but yeah. He did his job. Of course, Espo's younger brother Tony Esposito, who died recently. So, he did quite well, playing in a lot of NHL All-Star games. 5 Art Rouse trophies for scoring, 69, 71, 72, 73, 74. The MVP in 69 and 74. 2-time Stanley Cup champion, 70 and 72. Lou Marsh Trophy for Canadian Athlete of the Year in 1972. Inducted to the Hall of Fame in 84. Pretty good for himself and all that. And yeah, 717 goals in 1,282 regular season games, 1,590 points, and in the playoffs, 137 points in 130 games. So I say he had a full-fledged career. All that, he did what he could. And all of that. He was known for Hockey Sock Rock and part of the Sassoon jeans commercials in 1979. Ooh la la Sassoon. Ooh la la Espo. And that's all I gotta say about him. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.